Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions, and prospects are coming up in the single market program.
Today in the program, French investments in Kazakhstan's economy. Kyrgyzstan on the customs code of the EAEU. Light industry, difficulties of growth. Hello, I am your host, Yerkebulan Bekmuhanbet. You're watching the Single Market Program. France is one of the key players in the economic field of Kazakhstan. This European country takes the 5th place in the list of the main trade partners of the Republic and the 3rd in terms of direct investment. As a result of investments from France and Kazakhstan, there are 128 French enterprises in the country. The sector of their specialization is quite extensive. Anar Tastanbekova has more details on this topic. France. With reference to this country, the definition of strategic partner of Kazakhstan is suitable in all respects. France makes a significant contribution to various areas of the economy, which are a priority for the Republic today.
Добыча нефти, урана в области
extraction of oil and uranium in the auto industry and commerce. There are projects in the field of digital economy which are now actively developing, and we hope that there will be more French investors here in Kazakhstan.
ведутся очень активно, и мы надеемся, что будут еще больше инвесторов, французских инвесторов здесь, в Казахстане.
Last year, the trade turnover between Kazakhstan and France amounted to more than $3 billion. This is 38% more than in 2016. The increase is quite significant. France supplies equipment, cars, construction materials, medicines, clothes, cosmetics, and other consumer goods to Kazakhstan. And Kazakhstan exports oil, metal, chemical and agricultural products to France. The bulk of supplies to France are raw materials. It is worth $2.8 billion. In the oil and gas sector of Kazakhstan, the company Total is successfully operating in the country. The company is considered as the 4th largest oil and gas company in the world. Total, among other foreign companies, is part of the International Consortium for the Development of Kashagan, one of the world's largest oil fields discovered in the last 40 years. France is also present in the commodity sector of uranium in Kazakhstan. In partnership with the national uranium mineral resources company Kazatomprom, the French company Areva took part in the creation of the joint venture Katco. The volume of French investment in the economy of Kazakhstan for the past 13 years has exceeded $13 billion. At the same time, financial and technological resources were involved not only in the mining industry, but also in the manufacturing segments. For example, in the field of railway engineering, the French company Alstom has been actively working in Kazakhstan for several years. With Alstom's participation in Astana, in the territory of the Special Economic Zone, a plant was constructed to assemble electric locomotives. In December of last year, Alstom became the holder of a controlling stake in the company, increasing its ownership share to 75%. The French company Airbus Defense and Space is the partner of Kazakhstan in the high-tech sector of the economy in creating the space systems for remote sensing of Earth. With the help of its specialists in 2014, 2 Kazakhstani remote sensing satellites, Kaz-EOSat-1 and Kaz-EOSat-2, were launched into near-Earth orbit. In addition, as part of the contract, this company helps Kazakhstan to develop the market of space remote sensing systems.
With already 2 satellites in orbit, providing optic picture for Kazakhstan. Together, we are organizing the marketing of the satellite image that KGS could enter in the distribution of those images.
The French company Danone was included twice in the list of the best foreign investors in Kazakhstan. The investor is constantly working on the development of its project, producing unique dairy products.
Эти молочные продукты, они отличаются от других.
These dairy products differ in that they contain live bifidobacteria and lactobacilli. We use different technology whereby we produce living goods instead of thermally processed products. Living foods, of course, have a beneficial effect on the human body.
А живые продукты, естественно, благотворно влияют на организм человека.
There are high expectations on the Kazakh-French Business Council for the implementation of a new project to introduce the hypermarket chain Leroy Merlin. This large international retailer specializes in products for home repair and construction.
Если там несколько лет назад мы не могли даже представить, что на наш рынок зайдут такие крупные игроки.
Several years ago, we could not even imagine that such big players would come to our market. Now it's no surprise to anyone. The border was opened and entrance barriers were reduced.
Это неудивительно, просто открылись границы, уменьшились входные барьеры.
The first store, the French retailer, will open in Almaty this summer, and it will maintain the strategy of the main trading network, which today covers 12 countries of the world, stable supplies, high level of service, and reasonable prices. The concept of daily low prices is a concept for the mass market. Yes, we're waiting for many customers, so we need a large volume. A new trend in the trade and economic partnership of the two countries is the creation of joint ventures in the sphere of small business. One example includes a small bakery, La Tartine in Almaty. It was discovered by the partnership of two businessmen. One of them is Kazakh and the other is French. Two friends decided to open this beautiful bakery, a piece of France in Kazakhstan. Here in Almaty it is available in 3 locations, and in Astana there are 3 more. The Kazakh-French partnership shows positive dynamics. At the same time, new businesses are being created in different sectors as the two countries plan to strengthen their cooperation. These include digital technology, telecommunications, and the textile industry. Anar Tastanbekova, Anatoly Valyuski, exclusively for the single market.
2018 год для стран Евразийского
2018 is the year where the introduction of the customs code is implemented in the member countries of the Eurasian Economic Union. This event plays a special role for the development of integration ties. The Eurasian Five will carry out foreign economic activities within the framework of a single set of rules. The Single Market Program promises to monitor the progress of this process. We bring to your attention a report from Kyrgyzstan.
Вниманию, репортаж из Кыргызстана.
The Customs Code of the Eurasian Economic Union was developed for about 5 years and entered into force only after it was ratified by all the partner countries for integration.
70% всех предложений, которые
70% of all proposals that are included in the Customs Code are the proposals that we receive from the business side. And for us, it is fundamentally important that the business be satisfied with the document that we have. And I am very glad that businesses today positively assessed the results of our mutual work.
сегодня позитивно оценил результаты нашей совместной работы.
Kyrgyzstan was the last of the Allied Five to sign this document. Today, the core structures of the Republic, which protect the interest of business, explain the main provisions of the Customs Code to market participants. One of the innovations of the Code is the unification of national legislation in the field of customs regulation.
Для предпринимателей открылась очень большая возможность поставлять свою продукцию.
The opportunity for entrepreneurs to supply products without barriers has been lifted. There is no customs control, there are border services, and the goods are under contracts. The only thing is that entrepreneurs need to have the necessary documents. If the documents are included in the register, then there are no problems.
Если они включены в этот реестр, то это идет без всяких препятствий.
Another innovation is the introduction of the electronic goods turnover system within the framework of the Customs Code.
Создается возможность для дистанционного.
There is an opportunity for remote customer service. Electronic invoices will be introduced and electronic technologies will be welcomed. We will strive to minimize the role of customs services.
Служб.
This allows you to save business resources, expedite the procedures for customs clearance of goods, and facilitate the export of goods.
С момента захода на территорию
The goods from the moment of entering the territory of the EAPS fall into a single database. A single invoice is opened, and a single document confirming the safety of the products.
и единый электронный документ, подтверждающий безопасность этой продукции.
The next step in the development of digital technologies in the sphere of trade in the EAPS territory will be the use of a single electronic marking. A new product identification system will help fight counterfeit and fake imports.
Естественно, мы сейчас переходим как бы уже в следующий век технологического уклада. Все переходит в цифровой формат. Соответственно, правовая база она должна была обеспечивать, чтобы бизнес мог получать как бы услуги.
We are moving into the age of technological order. Accordingly, the legal framework should ensure that the business can receive services related to customs clearance online. After the product is marked, both the consumer and government agencies can trace this product up to retail sale. The system can detect commodity flows that go past the budget.
Видеть, что продукция продана конечному потребителю. То есть вот эта система, она позволит полностью вывести из тени те как бы сектора и те товарные потоки, которые сегодня проходят, как говорится, мимо бюджета.
One of the single customs code on the possibility of delaying the payment of customs duties for up to 6 months without accrual of interest meets the interest of entrepreneurs who work in the agro-industrial complex, as the production process is seasonal. And this possibility is already taken into account by potential exporters of Kyrgyzstan involved in the export of agricultural and food products. Last year, about 1,000 tribal calves from Russia and Kazakhstan were brought to the agrarian economy of the village of Atbashi of the Nadin Oblast. In the near future, the farmers plan to create not only highly productive herds, but also appropriate infrastructure for the business. They also plan to supply their products, including red meat, to the markets of the EAEC.
In the
near future, we plan to open a laboratory in the territory of the district to make it easier to export meat products. Installment payment for customs duties for the agricultural enterprise, which is at the development stage, has good support. Another advantage for agricultural producers is the method of combined payment of customs payments. The producer himself chooses the method of payment. Part of the money can be paid by a bank guarantee, and the rest can be paid in cash. Of course, a single set of rules for customs regulation on the territory of the Eurasian Economic Union will not immediately lead to a balance of interests of all integration partners. This will take time.
Today
we need to solve these problems so that our products are competitive, and participation in the EEMP gives us a chance to implement such projects. Nevertheless, experts point out today that the movement of goods in Kyrgyzstan has become more active, although the enterprises in the Republic have only worked under the new conditions for a few months.
Когда заходили машины как попало, а потом через 3-4 дня они растамаживались, уже, может быть, там были другие.
Now the cars can be cleared in 3 to 4 days. All this remained in the old way. Now the number of imported goods has increased the volume of payments too.
В нашу страну в несколько раз больше, ну и количество платежей то же самое.
A new set of rules and regulations on customs regulation on the territory of the Eurasian Economic Union encourages business for improvement, especially industries that are involved in the export so that they respect the rules of fair trade. This is the most important factor underlining the relevance of the customs code. Gulmira Midyet, Talgat Mambitaliyev, Bishkek, special report for the Single Market Program.
Last
year, the volume of production in the light industry of Kazakhstan increased by 7.3%. Compared to 2016, the results are not so impressive as the growth was 14%. It should be taken into account here that this record growth occurred after a significant decline in 2015, when the external factors influenced the economy of Kazakhstan. What problems and prospects are facing this industry today? We will learn from those who work directly in the light sector.
Перед этой отраслью узнаем непосредственно от тех, кто работает в профильном секторе.
The capacity of Kazakhstan's profile light market is estimated at $1.5 billion by experts today. At the same time, Kazakhstani enterprises occupy only 8% of the total volume, and the major role is made by factories that are engaged in the sector of the B2B, that is, the production that receives guaranteed orders in the form of tenders. At the same time, they often face problems. In order to be less dependent on state orders, some enterprises today are reviewing their long-term plans and are trying to explore new niches. For example, the sewing factory Simiramida, which has 20 years of experience in the market, expands its presence in the mass market clothing segment.
Мы пересмотрели миссию компании, мы пересмотрели стратегию компании.
We revised the company's strategy, positioning it in a different market. Target audiences have changed too. The production line is extended. Previously, we only produced coats, but now you can see we don't only produce coats. There are many jackets, blazers, bomber-style options, and biker-style outwear.
Сейчас вы видите, что это не только пальто, это и жакеты, и блейзеры, и бомберки, и байкерки.
The new range of clothes requires additional fabrics and accessories, and this created new challenges for the factory. Almost all raw materials for the production of finished goods are purchased abroad, although there are enterprises that specialize in deep processing of agricultural raw materials such as cotton, wool, skins in the Republic. Basically, they either export the raw materials after initial processing or they supply their products locally under state orders. The narrow specifics of textile enterprises limits the assortment of fabrics and does not meet the interest of Kazakhstan designers. Designers want to work with the textile producers. If we came up with a model, we would go to a textile facility, sit with the textile designers and say, here we have come up with such a model and we would like such fabric. Let's think about how to do it. Well, in the whole world, they work like that.
Подумаем, как ее сделать. Ну, во всем мире так работает.
According to market experts, the industry today needs the formation of a large network of enterprises that must master the high redistribution of raw materials. Only then can we expect that the profile enterprises, shoe shops, sewing, and fur factories will be able to create a multiplier effect in the economy, since it is the light industry that is involved in the sphere of small and medium business.
Узбекистан. А если они раньше экспортировали хлопок, больше, наверное, 90% это составлял экспорт, то сегодня у них задача...
For example, Uzbekistan used to export 90% of cotton. Today, 80% of it is recycled. China, Turkey, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and other countries support their own light industry. Why? Because this is the only industry that has the highest employment rate. This is the most important sector.
Отрасль, которая имеет самую высокую занятость на рабочих местах, это самая социальная отрасль.
Another problem is the excessively high customs duties on imported raw materials which are imposed in the territory of the Eurasian Economic Union. For example, for the import of fabrics from third countries, Kazakhstani garment factories must pay a total of 32% of their cost. Well, they say that we are part of the Eurasian Union, while supposedly these combines exist in Russia, but they do not produce such a fabric either. If they were, I would take it from them. So what? What kind of market do we protect? As for the prospects of light industry, they are starting to receive recognitions thanks to the financial and consulting support that enterprises receive from national companies that protect the interest of Kazakhstan's business and international financial institutions. The garment factory, headed by Natalia Aushahmetova, became a participant in the grant program of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And today, the designers of the enterprise have the opportunity to work with famous European couturiers. We work with the Spanish designer Sonia Prada, who helped us, advised us on the development of a new collection. If earlier we let out 2 collections for spring and autumn, now we will release 4 collections.
То сейчас мы выпускать будем 4 коллекции.
The expansion of the collection pushed the company to open its own outlets and develop new markets. Today, the national company, Kazakh Invest, supports export-oriented production. We have calculated this. I say, listen, maybe we'll open stores in Russia. We will have some returns, grants. We are more profitable there. As the experience of individual enterprises shows, Kazakhstan's light industry can be quite competitive. In order to increase its potential, it is necessary to listen to the proposals of industry experts. We're talking about the provision of various conditions, which include supporting the deep processing enterprises and the settlement with the Eurasian Commission on the issue related to the customs duty for the import of raw materials and accessories from other countries. That's all for today. I'm Yerkebulan Bekmuhanbet. Let me remind you that all our episodes can be watched on our website, www.Kazakh-TV.kz. See you in the next Single Market program.